So now that I have plenty of space to take out the engine, I'm gonna work on taking off the rest of the stuff. I'm just gonna follow the FSM here, and I'll just show you what all of that is. So number one on here is the air intake pipe. In order to take this off, there are just two little nuts holding it together. There's one up here, and then there's one down underneath. So that's just getting a extension. If I remember correctly, it should be 12 millimeter. Yep. And since I don't want all of this in the way, I'll just take it out all at one time. Alright, so now it should just pop right off. Oh yeah. This rubber hose. So now should be able to just pull it right out. There we go. To remove this we have sensor connection. So it has these little metal clips here. So you want to just take that out. You can either use pliers, or if you have like a really skinny flathead screwdriver, smaller than this, you can just stick it right in the middle and just pop it off. Come in through here. Take it out. Just be super careful with the plastic, because this stuff can break really easily. And there you go. So next thing I need to take off is this. I think the FSM calls it a relief hose, I guess. Relief air hose. I was gonna try and take out one section at a time, but I think I'm just gonna remove the one back here and then get that over with. Alright, so there's that. Number 3, air cleaner assembly, which, I mean, it's all this, just telling you to take all this out. And this, if you still have it. Cooling fan, if you still have the original fan, that's usually like right here. Upper and lower radiator hose. Those, of course, I took out in the other video where I took out all the radiator stuff out. But this is the top. Oof. The bottom. Let me just go up to here. Coolant level sensor connector. That's the one that's on top of the coolant, or not the coolant, the radiator. It's like up here. Radiator switch connector. That one is the one that I was showing on the other video. It was like right down there. ATF hose. I actually don't think I have that, but it looks like it would be coming from somewhere over here to here. Radiator and cowling. Well, obviously that was here. And if you have the stock clutch fan, you'd have that big shroud over here still. So now I've got to remove the accelerator cable. So that's this one right here. If you come on this side, you can see it a little better. It's this one right here. Right, to take out the throttle cable here, all you do is you have to push down on the throttle, push this down, and this should just pop right off. And then you just slide it out. When I say push it down, or push down the throttle, I meant this. Just push this down all the way, and should loosen up the back over there. So next thing is the cruise control cable and vacuum hose. Looks like it's these two right here. It's gonna be this right here. So this vacuum cable goes back here. So that should just pop off, hopefully. I did change these hoses, so it might be pretty secure in there. You pop that off, and then you take this off by doing a similar thing to the throttle cable. Just kind of loosening it up and then just pulling it right out. So next thing we have to take off is this BAC hose. is right here, but this was already, you know, taken off when I took out the air intake hose. But it comes down all the way here and it blocks the view for the cruise control cable. So I'm gonna take this off, and that just goes here and here, and it's just connected by 2 screws here. There's one on this side, there's one up here, and I guess there should be a bracket here too. Not sure for what. It's always been missing on mine, so I have no idea what it's for. Right, to remove this cruise control cable, I'm gonna do the same method as last time. So you push down on the throttle, and this should be super loose. So you bring it up, and then you push the cable down, and that little notch should pop right out. Once you remove the actual cable, now you can come over here and remove these 2 screws. If your engine is like mine, it probably won't come out. It's stuck in there. It's just so old that if I try to go in like that, it's just gonna mess up the screws. So what I'm gonna do is just slide out the cable from here. It's already pretty loose. And that should free everything up. If you do it this way, I would recommend being very careful with this little clip here. Just pops off, but don't lose that because that holds the whole thing inside. Don't do what I just did. But yeah, you pull it out, and then you can pull the whole thing right out. So now take this off. It goes right here. I already taped that up, but it's called boost sensor vacuum hose. It's number 15, and then number 16 is just removing the engine harness. So I guess I was kind of right. I'm gonna have to remove this whole thing, not just the clips and stuff. So I guess I'm gonna have to reconnect everything, because that's gonna stay on the engine, and I'm actually gonna have to take out this whole thing right here. Goes up here, in here, and those wires come through the firewall, back there somewhere, and come down there. So after cleaning all that mess, I'm gonna have to remove the ECU, and I already started taking this apart, but this little thing goes here. If you still have it, I don't know. There's 2 of these. I'm not sure, pretty sure they go on these ones, and then there's a 3rd one, goes here in the back. There's one long screw that goes into the this little door sill thing. You might want to take this whole thing off. I just loosened the first couple, so I took out 2 more after that first one there, and then just kind of lifted it up a bit, and then just kind of slid this out. Now apparently the ECU is somewhere down here. So what I'm going to do is just take the carpet and just pull it back and see where exactly it's at. There we go. So I'm going to have to take out this whole thing. So 3 more screws and this should pop off. The carpet is kind of underneath it, and I don't want to just I don't want to rip it off, so let me just take those off. When you take this off, make sure to grab it like in here. Just kind of pop it off. I already did that because there's 1, 2, and 3 clips, and you don't want to break this whole thing. So now, to remove the carpet, just kind of lift this plastic off. And I'm just going to remove all 3 of them so that the carpet can just kind of slide back Alright, so this carpet's being difficult, but pushed it back. There's two bolts, and then underneath here there's 1 and 2 nuts that we need to take off. So there you go. There's that cover. These cables are from when I rewired the speakers, so you probably won't have that unless you did the same thing. There's the ECU, which by the looks of it is not the stock ECU. But yeah, that's definitely coming out. I have an Artec ECU that I'm going to use this time. So yeah, to remove this, there's 4 little screws there, or 2 screws, and then up here there's one underneath that cable and underneath that. So I'm going to take those out, and they are also 10mm bolts. Alright, so now that I've taken those off, I'm just going to disconnect these. Alright, so there's the ECU. There's some writing here. Rotor 992, Rotary Concepts. So I'm guessing this was a rotary shop. And now let's check on the wiring here. So I was trying to remove this whole bracket, but it's stuck right here. There's like a little clip there, and I don't want to break it, so I'll just leave it like that. When I go and install the Artec one, I'll just use the same bracket and stuff. So now that that's out of the way, I'm gonna remove it from over here. So I'm gonna start off by taking this off. This apparently is for the cruise control that never worked, and this is the, I believe this is a charcoal canister or something like that. So the canister is super easy to remove. I thought you had to unclip something, but you just have to kind of pull up on it and don't break it. And then all you have to do is just disconnect it. Disconnect these hoses. There's one on the bottom as well to remove the cruise control stuff. Looks like there's just one bolt here holding it down, and never mind, 2 more right here. So in order to take this out, I was trying to break it off, but came down here and mine isn't very covered up. So alright, so remove this thing, these little brackets here. So what you can do is come in with the plier and just kind of grab one and then push it out, and then the next one will just pop right out. I'm going to remove this too, just so I don't break it or whatever. To remove it, there's a 10mm screw here, or bolt here, and that's pretty much it. I think that's all that's holding it together. And I gotta disconnect this hose. Looks like there was another screw down there. So yeah, now I just need to disconnect this one. When you go to take this off, I would recommend that you come back here and kind of pop this off first so you can take it off, because mine's broken now. So now those are all the cables that I believe are connected here, besides these ones. See, it looks like it's under here. Take that off. This connector for the MAF and the pressure sensor. I don't want to break that, so there's that. I'm just gonna take that off. There's that. Oh, this is the idler, so, or the idle control. So for this, all you need to do is unscrew it, and this should just slide right off like that. So it looks like the wiring here is connected to a bracket. So down here, oh, it should be anyways, but on mine it just has this sort of zip tie looking thing. So yeah, mine was connected with this. This goes in like that, holds it down, pull it off, just pull this back and it slides right out. So now this is off. Looks like I'm gonna have to remove some stuff here to give myself more room. I'm gonna take out the front speaker cover. When you take it out, be careful because there's this and there's a little AC hose in there. Just want to pop that off and then this whole thing will drop. I got the last one, and my recommendation is to come back here and remove the little nut and then take it out, and then from here you can kind of grab a screwdriver and push this in and kind of pull out at the same time. Now that I've got all the wires loose, should be able to just should slowly start coming out. Looks like I missed the connector. Missed this little white connector in there. That's done, and now it's actually coming out really easily. So there's all the wiring. Put it there. Well, I'm gonna have to pass it through there and then that way. Alright, so I'm removing all the wiring and stuff. The E-fan stuff connects to the alternator here. So I'm just gonna take this off, and I'm gonna have to remove it anyways because the harness on this side, I need to disconnect all the stuff, so yeah, might as well do it now. Remove this connection to the alternator. And there's the wiring harness. And this one here is it was for the E-fan that used to be in here. But I'm gonna have to redo all this stuff. There we go. So now I can remove that wire, and then the ground, well, the power wire for the actual car is disconnected. So in the next video, I'm gonna do this whole side. That side is completely free of everything. I'll do that hopefully tomorrow.